I'm certain by way of now, if you've been looking the channel, you then are aware that I personally trust that Ripple and XRP will completely revolutionize the way that cash is moved around the arena. They will essentially be, you recognize pieces of the new monetary destiny as properly. And the gadget that we're currently running on is clearly, genuinely, I would say, going through a large fundamental change. And maximum of the arena isn't even focused on this. They do not even recognize what's surely taking place, and it's right in front in their faces. So with that being stated, welcome to the channel, absolutely everyone. My name is Nick. For the ones that are new to the channel, hopefully via the quid of this video, you do end up a subscriber. And also, in case you men are not within the free Discord already, I exceptionally suggest each person go and take a look at it out. You know, be a part of it. Check what you recognize. Information is in there. We have over almost 9,000 individuals in there alone. There is a ton of unfastened precious data there. So what are you men anticipating? Go and click on the hyperlink on the top of the outline underneath. You might not remorse it. Now, with that being stated, I have quoted Zoltan Pisa for a very long time. He, without a doubt, has a theory regarding the Bretton Woods 3 motion. Essentially, this would be a brand new world monetary order, and it might be based totally on commodity-subsidized currencies. Now, what is crazy about that is you realize he does communicate about how we are moving closer to a digital-based economic machine as well, and how all of this can, in reality, form a paintings. He also does point out, he mentions cryptocurrencies as properly being a part of this. But if we are thinking about what's going on, we are starting to see sizable adjustments taking place right now in actual time. We, in reality, have here, wherein does Bretton Woods 3 come from? Well, you understand. This is the modern monetary order. It's based on the energy and liquidity of America greenback. Its energy comes from the financial markets inside the United States being the maximum mature and open inside the international. Its liquidity is subsidized through the intensity of the dollar market, in addition to the depth of the euro greenback market. Euro greenbacks and euro dollars or greenbacks created outside of the US. I think of them like a fiat version of the USA dollar strong coins. Now, as we do consider this, right, where does all of this truly type of start to flip a transfer? Where will we begin to see a large shift going on? Well, right here, we truly have a full prediction of the way this essentially plays out. Number one is inflation, and interest fees in the US will rise. We already noticed that for just like the last couple of years. The demand for commodity reserves will rise. Again, we are already seeing this in real time. And almost each single significant financial institution out there may be stockpiling large quantities of gold. The demand for overseas currency reserves, especially for those of geopolitical rivals, will fall. And again, as we think about this, it's far beginning to trade in phrases of the general surroundings around dominance in terms of reserves. The call for bucks will fall due to the fact non-greenback exchange will upward push. And again, we're already starting to witness that specifically around a lot of the BRICS countries. Supply chains becomes much less green and hence more costly. The EU gets electricity commodities from assets aside from Russia. Russia will sell greater to China, and the Middle East will sell extra to the EU. Now, we haven't yet, you understand, visible this in a totally large manner. Again, plenty of it's been sort of trickling a little bit. But up to now, you recognize it is no longer in a totally massive manner to the fact to where it is like so major. Also, the arena will pass from our foreign money year hassle to our commodity year trouble. Commodity exporters will an increasing number of demand price in non-US dollar terms. Now, some countries around the arena are starting to form of accept non-USD. You realize bills for commodities, but not in a manner like this. Deglobalization will preserve. Countries will hoard commodities to become extra autarkic. And listen, as we sincerely examine this, right, he's not predicting a crumble of the USA dollar or something like that. He's essentially simply starting to, you understand, show you like, concentrate. We're on a path to dominance being usurped around the US. But as we surely think about this standard prediction around Bretton Woods 3 and how matters are beginning to exchange, you purchased to don't forget that as we observe crypto, we're beginning to see a shift closer to a virtual primarily based monetary gadget. I recognize that we reflect on consideration on crypto as, all right, this isn't breakout from the monetary system that we know about and such things as that. These tasks are actually being followed by the banks, the non-public sector and the public sector are genuinely participating in a very big way. And I suppose it surely kind of comes going to reverse to the Finternet, right, which the beast did submit returned in April. Now, the Finternet is largely the economic machine for the destiny. Now, you's probably announcing all properly, Nick, you are kind of dropping me right here a bit with the gold, after which the digital-based economic machine. Don't worry, we will tie this all collectively and I'll try to make it as smooth to recognize as viable. But what the Finternet essentially manner is the whole world is attached. The complete world is connected. We have tokenization, we've got unified ledgers, all economic transactions on chain. The whole thing, you understand, is all digital as well when it comes to this. And if we're thinking about that, Kay, all of the relevant banks are stockpiling massive amounts of gold. All Bretton Woods 3 sincerely is a commodity revolution. It's a commodity-backed financial gadget. This is digital, okay? When we are considering this, in the event that they need the financial machine for the destiny to be on ledgers and on chain, and tokenization will live through all of this as well, what are the vital banks doing? They're stockpiling gold. They need their currencies to be subsidized by means of gold. Every unmarried central bank out there is searching into what a imperative financial institution virtual currency. Central financial institution virtual currencies in order to be backed via gold, issued out on ledgers. Now, do you begin to see the course ahead here when we are speaking approximately the brand new financial device? Over right here, we in reality have, Chair of the Brentwoods Committee calls the Finternet a formidable vision and touches on the subsequent. Now, this got published on October 28th by means of subjective views. We have Worldwide Rapid Payments Architecture, Project Nexus, 247 Actual Time, Gross Settlement, Unified Ledger, and Project Agora. And in case you men do not know approximately Project Agora, you could check it out. It's a past border payment assignment with numerous major banks tied to it. However, check this out. You are considering the second one report in this collection that the working group goes to release, and you are looking at the global speedy bills architecture. So I concept maybe you would share a touch bit with the target audience today about sort of what problem, what hurdles the organization is asking at, and perhaps a number of the early questioning across the recommendations. So the G20 looked at global payments and that they concluded that they were steeply priced, complicated, sluggish, and inefficient. And so they set some goals for the FSB CPMI. That's a group on the bias that thinks about charge matters to try to make progress to reduce the fee growth inclusivity. And there may be been a few development, however, I do not assume they may be going to fulfill their goals in terms of where they wish to get the price of payments via 2027. The desirable news is there is quite a few proper paintings occurring. There have been a number of countries that have been very successful in growing instant charge systems, now not just developing them, however, additionally getting a take-up by way of their citizenry. India, a number of the Southeast Asian countries, they have got immediately charged systems that aren't just there in idea, however, they're there in exercise, and they may be definitely core to the payment systems. In different locations like the United States, like Europe, they're on the spot charge structures, but their percentage of use in terms of domestic bills is de minimis. And so it's a little hard to have an integrated international instantaneous price gadget if human beings in big areas like Europe and the USA are not the usage of them. So I assume one conclusion of the paper is we're given to figure out a way to make the immediately fee structures inside the critical economies of the arena more a hit. I suppose the BIS has executed a lot of first-rate paintings through the BS innovation hubs. They have a challenge called Project Nexus that definitely is truly, I assume, very well notioned via in terms of how you'll actually knit those countrywide instant payment systems together. They, I assume, conclude efficaciously that a hub-and-spoke gadget is a lot better than an entire bunch of person nations looking to control bilateral relationships with different countries due to the fact, glaringly, the quantity of linkages, if you do it bilaterally, goes up geometrically relative to simply linking to a critical hub. So I assume the BS could be very tons of the right track. But the troubles are simply getting the countrywide instantaneous price structures feasible. And two, making sure that the critical banks maintain transferring in the direction of 247 real-time boom agreement due to the fact if you don't have real-time growth agreement, you're continually going to be left with some residual liquidity settlement danger to your